the finals expected to be released before the end of the year, I'm sure many of us are wondering if this game is truly going to be decent. Is it going to last? Is it just another flavor of the month FPS that will fade away in a few months? In this video, we'll go over that and much more. I'll also provide my opinions on what I enjoyed, didn't like, and what I would like to see added to the game in the future. I'm sure most of you viewing this video are familiar with the finals or have seen gameplay of it, but for those who aren't, the Finals is a new FPS game produced by Embark Studios, a group of ex-DICE devs that worked on Battlefield, and you can clearly see that transfer to this game. It contains Battlefield aspects such as a large area and destructible environments, but it also includes Overwatch characteristics such as being class-based shooter with a plethora of diverse abilities that can be customized. Each class has distinct firearms and skills. There are 3 classes: light, medium, and heavy. In other video games, your light would be your DPS, while your medium would be for more of a support role, and the heavy classes are analogous to your tank. With the fluidity, it also reminds me a little of Apex. It's really fast paced, and while it's not as slick as Apex, it's the only other game I've lately played that can keep up with Apex. Basically, it seems like they took 3 games that I really loved and combined them to offer us this fresh and innovative perspective on an FPS game. I remember both the initial and second beta of this game, and I was completely uninterested. I assumed it was simply another generic shooter. It'll be dead and gone within a few months after its release. It didn't really intrigue me until one night when I was bored and decided to download it and try it on my own. And I'm so happy I did, because this game was so entertaining. It's not difficult to get started, and one of the things I really liked about this game is how simple it is to learn how to play. Yes, there are many distinct classes and skills, but getting a broad idea of the game is very simple. Especially if you've played prior class-based FPS games. Yes, Overwatch and Apex Legends are 2 of my favorite games. So that's the first thing I appreciate, and I think they did a great job with it. It'll make this game extremely accessible to newer players. The second point to mention, and it's something I mentioned briefly earlier, is mobility. The movement is quite quick. You can slide all over the place, it feels great to jump, there are several movement capabilities, you've got a grappling hook, you can teleport almost as quickly as a tracer blink, there are jump pads, and there is simply so much wonderful stuff you can do. It's better than most games these days, when you're mostly confined to things like slide cancelling or leaping. I mean, Apex has jump pads, but this game has so much more to offer. Some of this stuff still feels a touch clumsy, but it doesn't take away from that enjoyment element at all. When I was playing this game, my entire team is running jump pads, and it simply seems like you're in a bouncing house and there's no penalty for accuracy while you're in the air. So you can simply take these jump pads over and over again and still one-clip folks out of the air. There are so many various movement options in this game that it makes it so much fun. And this in a turn raises the skill ceiling. In first-person shooter games, I enjoy the mobility. I realize I'm a little prejudiced, but I think that this game handles it very well. The ranked mode was my second favorite feature. Now, the way ranking works in this game is a little different than it is in other games. It's a tournament-style structure, so it begins with 4 distinct brackets of teams, each with its own 3v3, v3, v3, and the top 2 teams from those brackets advance to the next round. The top 2 teams from that round then advance to the final match, which is just a 3v3 contest. Definitely a unique spin on a ranked mode. It seems to work fine for this game. I haven't felt this competitive in a game since perhaps when I was playing competitive Fortnite way back when. I played other competitive games such as CS, Overwatch, Halo, and PUBG, as well as pretty much anything you can think of. Nothing, however, felt as competitive to me as the finals. I'm not sure. I simply think that it's an interesting spin on it. It makes it far more intriguing than a traditional ranked mode. It might perhaps boost your rank because the games are really long when you reach the finals. And there are times when it just doesn't feel like you're earning enough points for it. It doesn't feel like you're being adequately compensated. Aside from that, it was a lot of fun to play. The next thing I liked about the game was the level of personalization available. Each class has distinct firearms and skills that were specific to that class. You could experiment with a plethora of various loadouts and never get bored. There will be so many different combinations to test in order to determine the meta, if there is one at all, because a lot of the stuff felt pretty viable, and we'd end up switching a lot of the stuff in our classes based on what the rest of the team was running, in order to build a complete team around that. Another factor that contributed to the game's competitive nature is that it emphasizes teamwork. I loved how each class had at least a few firearms you could use. You weren't obliged to pick one certain rifle. On light, I really liked the pistol, and on medium, I liked the AK. I felt like I got the most bang for my buck with those two, but I didn't feel constrained to only them. I could use the SMG or the sniper and still have a good time. In medium, I could still have the SCAR and gain kills. As far as the weapons go, those seemed quite balanced, aside from Hefty, but we'll get into that later. In addition to the cosmetics in this game, there are several. Every single object in the game has a camo. You may decorate anything in your class with stickers and charms. You may, for example, place a sticker on your grenade, jump pad, or pistol. In this game, you may modify anything. This will most likely provide them with several chances for microtransactions. And hopefully, they do it correctly. Hopefully nothing is too pricey. I don't want it to be another Apex, where I have to spend $20 for each skin. But yes, the customization in this game is excellent.
But all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll catch you in the next one. Until next time.